Tuesday morning, and Monaskis already had a pack of cigarettes. Is that true? No.
No, I haven't had one.
You don't
today.
smell. I don't smell the your secondhand smoke.
I will tell you. Okay, so I failed yesterday. I made it till almost 10:30. I was going into a. Go ahead.
I understand this has a hold on you, and it's like.
Yeah,
you're. I don't want to say this the wrong way, but it's like weird things. Or
so
mental, like you're forgetful all of a sudden.
The best quit smoking commercial I've ever seen, or that to me explains the difficulty, is there's a commercial where like there's a woman pouring herself a cup of coffee, but she's pouring not in the cup but next to the cup. Mm-hmm. The guy goes to start the car and he like gets in the trunk or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's you just forget how to function. You know, there's just normal things just seem like impossible.
Is this because you're craving a cigarette?
I
or
think
it's
so.
More of a chemical imbalance thing.
I think it could be a chemical thing. I've heard, you know, I don't know. I can't really explain it. But
tell
anyway.
the story yesterday. I get a text message from Jeff yesterday.
I couldn't believe this.
Now, listen, stuff like this can happen because your mind is focused on something else. But I think your brain is focusing on how do I get a cigarette.
It's. I think you're right.
When's the
it's
next
not
time?
In my,
When's the next time I
routine.
can have it?
Every Monday after the show, I pick up my son. He goes to the babysitter for a little bit. After the show, I pick him up. He spends the whole day with Grandpa, right? And they both love it. I get off the show yesterday. I'm not going to smoke, yada, yada, yada. I get in my car. I drive directly to my father's house. I never pick the baby up. I get in the driveway, and I'm like, you know, feeling like something's missing. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. I never stopped to the baby. Now, it wasn't a situation where he was left alone or left in the car. I want to be clear on that. I just didn't go to the babysitter to pick him up first. So I went to the babysitter, picked him up, brought him. And then there were a couple other things during the day yesterday. To be honest, I think I've forgotten them. But, like, I did things backwards, stupid. I left the house today, no cell phone.
Yeah.
Long story short, I did end up, I smoked 6 cigarettes yesterday. I'm disappointed in that number. What happened? I smoked about 10:30. I had a cigarette before a big meeting because that's when we kind of jump on new projects for the week. I wanted to make sure I was mentally focused. At least that's the excuse I told myself. I smoked a couple in the afternoon.
I've never thought of that, of basically smoking a cigarette and handling that crave to be able to function properly. But I guess that's what you go through when you're trying to wean yourself off of this. So.
I do feel like most of the time when I'm having a cigarette, I'm thinking about what's next or what has just happened. It's like a break in between.
Yeah.
It's a reset, a mental reset for me. So I'm going to try again today. I hate to say this. I shouldn't be negative, but I'm going to fail again today. I smoked about...
Well, that's a good attitude. I like to see that we're...
I smoked about 1/3 of the cigarettes I typically consume in a day. I'm going to try again today.
That's good, though.
I
Just
could
cut back.
I could tell you, well, ultimately
like
I
you're
have
doing.
to quit. I mean, I have to quit. I'm going to the doctor again today. I got this persistent sore throat. I was on antibiotics, double ear infection. I exhausted all the medicine they gave me, and I'm still dealing with this issue. I just think it's tied in. And, you know, a couple people text me. I want to tell you, I got some texts and messages. I appreciate that. People talking about do it for your son. I agree 100%. That's the way I want to do it. I just wish I could flip a switch and turn it off, and I'm obviously struggling with that.
All right. There's a reason why I've never started, because had I started, I would have probably been in the same boat. I think some people are able to quit, though. Like he was able to just go cold turkey.
Well, I think to my advantage, I hadn't been doing it that long. I mean, Jeff's been doing it a lot longer than
almost 20
I
years.
have. You know,
you jumped on when you started again. Well, it was about 3 months again initially.
Yeah, it was about 3 months. I did it. Yeah.
Did you see? I'm going to switch gears. Anything you want to add to this here? Except you're going to give it a shot. The fact that you're talking about it on the air, and each time you fail, you're talking about it, might actually help you.
Yeah.
I will say there's an embarrassment level to say that this cigarette or this drug has the power over me where I can't say I'm going to go 24 hours without one.
Yeah.
Is embarrassing, and I think I have an advantage that some people don't have where I can say this on the air, and I think it kind of holds me accountable, even though I continue to fail. I don't want to jump back into it, you know, because then I'm going to overcome this. It's not going to be today. It might not be tomorrow, but I will.
We had a story on the other day about salting, the Northeast especially, where we salt the roads. There are areas that don't salt. They use just sand and dirt and all that stuff. But we do a lot of salting of the roads here. And because of that, there is a belief that the waterways and drinking water, the alkalinity is actually raised to the point because of the salt in the water. So clearly, if you put all this salt on the roads, the rain's going to wash it away, right? But it's going to seep into the ground. It's going to go into the rivers and streams and lakes, and ultimately into our water supply. In Concord, New Hampshire, they've come up with a new plan. They're trying to strike a balance between ice-free roads and clean waterways, and you'll never guess what they're using. Beet juice.
Beet juice. I was just going to say pickle juice.
Beet juice and beer.
Well, let's be honest. Nobody was drinking the beet juice anyway. They didn't know what else to do with it.
Rock salt for decades has provided the cheapest and most effective way to cut down on traffic accidents and pedestrian falls during winter storms. Researchers cite mounting evidence that the tons of sodium chloride crystals, more than 20 million nationwide each year, are increasing the salt in the lakes and streams and waterways throughout the Northeast and Midwest, and ultimately our drinking water. It's putting everything from fish and frogs to microscopic organisms at danger. And the other thing it puts at danger is with the raising of the alkalinity of the water, it actually is harder on the pipes, which, our piping systems and infrastructure are already old. And who knows? In Ferguson and those areas, where were we? In
Missouri?
In
Flint,
Michigan.
Flint, Michigan.
That, of course, they believe that might have played a role. The salt on the roads might have played a role. So they are using a de-icing agent made of, it's beet juice and beer. Beet juice and beer.
I thought you were going to say pickle juice because my trainer told me yesterday if you're having cramps to drink pickle juice or eat pickles, something about the brine.
That is
true. And the brine is what's used before a big storm to kind of as a preventative measure on the roads. So that's what I thought you were going. But the beets, that's cool too.
What kind of beer also? It's got to be natural ice, right? Because nobody drinks it.
That's right. That's right. I don't know what kind of beer. I don't know. Runny nose, cough, sore throat, breathing problems, fever, headache, diarrhea. Do you have the flu? The report coming out now says you probably don't have the flu. And by the way, if you think, well, I don't have the flu because I don't have a high temperature. You don't always get a temperature with the flu, but you won't know that you have the flu unless you literally go into the doctors and you're tested for it. Otherwise, it could be something else. And what these doctors are saying is it's another virus called adenovirus. And it is, unlike the flu, it's not seasonal. It lasts all year long. But it's in the family of the viruses. And it comes with sore throat, runny nose, cough, breathing problems, fever, headache, diarrhea. And you'll get rid of it, and it will come back. And that seems to be the big problem with what we're dealing with around these parts, is you get it, you start to feel better, everything's really good, and then you got some other conditions a week later. It's just, it's crazy. Is it the flu? Doctors are saying it could be, but maybe not. Interesting.